Julius Caesar, pretty awesome. Thing is, well, he's dead. But Dungeons and Dragons, you can make your character anything you want. So if you want to make a Dungeons and Dragons character that you can play with the same leadership capabilities as well as fighting capabilities of Julius Caesar, well, I'm about to show you how you do it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is name it. So we're going to name this Julius Caesar. Alright? We do not need everyone content. We will need Magic the Gathering content for later. We will need optional class features. We do not want to see those. Okay. Let's get a picture for Julius Caesar. That's a good idea. Set portrait. That's what we're going for right there. Alright, so the first thing when you're making a D character that comes up is your ability scores. These are what you start with. Now, some people roll for these. Some use an array of numbers. I personally like the point buy system because it's the most customizable. And so let's start. First of all, he did fight some, so he is going to need some dexterity. So we're going to give it 14 dexterity. Constitution, that's your ability to take a hit. And we all know, hey, it took a lot of stabs to take this guy down, so also give it 14 con. Strength, we need a little bit of strength. Do that as well. Intelligence, well, need some of that too. Wisdom, also need some, but charisma. Charisma is big. And I know you see I'm only putting 13 in it now. Do not worry. Do not worry. We will get to that in a moment. The next thing that comes up is background. Well, Julius Caesar did come from noble birth, so noble background works perfectly here. As for a gaming set, these are options. We're going to choose chess, strategic. Language, well, celestial. And I'm saying celestial because he thought himself highly. And that's the reason why I'm saying we're going celestial for now. The next thing that we should choose is race. And this is an easy one. Variant human. And so variant human, we also get language. Let's take Elvish. Elvish is kind of lofty language. Guess that works here. ASI, ability scores. Well, we're going to increase dexterity by 1 and charisma by 1. And you'll see why in a bit. What skill? He gets skill with a certain skill. Now, I would want to use persuasion here because Julius Caesar persuade people very well, but we already get persuasion for being a noble. So we're actually going to go with deception. Next thing, we get a feat. And what feat do we want? Well, skill expert is what we want. And what skill are we going to take with those? We're going to take intimidation, and we're going to get expertise with our persuasion. So we are already, from the beginning here, very persuasive. And what skill are we going to increase a bit more? Dexterity. That way then our ability scores are now got a bit more dexterity, a bit more charisma. They're not make more sense. Now before we go into actual what classes you want, let's think about this character a bit more. So alignment. I'm going to say neutral because some things Caesar did were good, some weren't, so just straight neutral. Lifestyle, aristocratic. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Personal characteristics, personality traits. Let's see what ones it gives here to think about. Eloquent flattery makes everyone talk to feel like most important. Yes, Caesar had a great ability to make people want to follow him. If you do an injury, I will crush you. Yes, he was captured by pirates, and when he finished, he got ransom basically back, he hunted them down. So both those traits make perfect sense. Ideals. Let's see. Respect is due to me because my position. Yes, I'd say that's accurate for him. Attain more power, no one will tell me what to do. I would also argue that, yes. Noble obligation. I don't know. I want to say that. We'll say that too. There was no obligation, so respect is due to me because of my position, but all people, regardless of station, deserve to be treated with dignity. If I attain more power, no one will tell me what to do. It's my duty to protect and care for people beneath me. All those make sense. Okay, so we have some ideals going. Now let's go into bonds. Bonds are something committed to. Common folk must see me as a hero of the people. Yes. He wants to be seen as, I am Julius Caesar. Flaws. Secret belief everyone is beneath me. Yes and no, but I think that's the most appropriate here. The world does revolve around me. That also makes sense. Alright, so now we do have the basics of his flaws, things, everything like that. And now we're going to start leveling him up, making him an actual character and explaining this as goes. So, Julius Caesar, we're starting as a fighter because he did know how to use the short sword and a shield, and fighter makes the most sense there. And I'll get into later particularly why a certain aspect of fighter at a little bit higher levels will make even more sense. Okay, so when we start fighter, first of all we get to choose some additional things now, but proficiencies. What other skills do we want to be proficient in? I would say insight makes a lot of sense here. Insight and perception. Two of the most honestly valuable skills you can have in D&D. Fighting style. So we're looking through these. You don't need to know what all these are, but dueling. When he is holding a melee weapon in one hand, short sword, and no other weapons, that means you can hold a shield because the shield is not a weapon. You gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon. So now his short sword is more damage. All right. Simple beginnings, but not much is actually known about Julius Caesar's really early life. So this makes sense, and it's setting us up for later greatness. So level 2, what we're actually going to do here is we are going to take another class. We're going to go Bard. Now Bard is it's usually seen as a musician or someone who does the arts. We're using it as an orator, someone who speaks elegantly and inspires others, because that's what Caesar did. So we are going Bard. Optional feature managers, we're just going to enable all these for now. They're not that important. When we take a level in Bard, we get some extra efficiencies. Musical instruments, we're going to choose the lyre because that was actually a common instrument then, where you also get another skill. We are taking performance. If you haven't noticed now, we have proficiency in all the main 4 charisma skills. Persuasion, deception, intimidation, performance. We have all those. So we are going to take performance. Next thing, we do get some spells. Ooh, spells. We don't want to go too overboard here. We want to think what spells would be appropriate. So, friends. For duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice. When the spell ends, the creature realizes you use magic, becomes hostile. So this could be seen as it's the start of him becoming charismatic, dealing with people, getting people to do what he wants. So friends actually makes a lot of sense here. But as we know, sometimes your friendship doesn't work as well. So you kind of have to insult people. So there's vicious mockery, where you unleash a string of insults that basically words hurt with this spell. That's the best way I can put it. So we're taking vicious mockery. Next thing comes up, we get a few first level spells. And charm person, once again, it's friends except lasts for an hour. It's a bit better. We want that, absolutely. Command. Now this is when he's the good days. When you succeed, you can make someone approach, drop, flee, grovel, halt. That's also screams Caesar to me. We're taking that as well. Next, healing word. Now, I know this is it's seen as a way to heal someone, but I like to think about you're inspiring someone to do greater by giving them extra health, pushing them to get back up for you. We're also going to take that. Next, heroism. very similar, but it makes it where someone cannot be frightened, it's touched. Yeah, all of those 4 spells, they make sense. They fit with the idea of Caesar. Alright, I like where this is going. Next, we have level 3. And what are we going to do for level 3? We're going to take another level in Fighter. And what does this give us? It gives us Action Surge, which means once on our turn, we can get an additional action, which means we can do one of these spells we have here, for example. We can attack someone and command them to drop their weapon. We could command someone. You get the point what I'm saying here. It's a way that we can fight and use our personality, our charisma, in a single turn. Fantastic. We're already level 3, and this is going good. This is going good. Next, we're going to go level 4. What are we going to do for level 4? We're going to take another level in Fighter. And now we start getting interesting. So D&D, levels 1 to 3, depending on the class you are, you get to choose a subclass of your class, or an archetype, a school, if you're a cleric, a divine domain, etc. Fighter gets an archetype. And now, the archetype that I would argue makes the most sense is Battlemaster. And you're probably wondering, what is Battlemaster? What is Battlemaster? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Let's read Battlemaster. Those who emulate the archetypal Battlemaster employ martial techniques passed down through generations. To the Battlemaster, combat is an academic field, including subjects beyond weaponsmithing and calligraphy. Not every fighter absorbs lessons of history, theory, and artistry that reflect in the Battlemaster archetype, but those who do are well-rounded fighters of great skill and knowledge. I feel like that's Julius Caesar. I just feel like it. So, once we choose this, you also get some dice. And these dice allow you to do special maneuvers, things to show your prowess. You also get a proficiency in a tools of your choice. We are going to actually take cartographer's tools, because when we start taking over places, well, we got to be able to make a map. I mean, got to be able to find places to take over. Cartographer tools. Now, maneuvers. You get some maneuvers with you use those dice on. There's a lot of maneuvers out there. I'm going to tell you which ones make sense. So the first one, commanding presence. Why commanding presence? When we make an intimidation, charisma, or intimidation, performance, or persuasion check, we can add the dice to it. Once again, we're already getting that persuasion, that I'm Julius Caesar persona going. Next thing we want, maneuvering attack. So this is when we fight, we can command our allies to move. Once again, that the leadership, you see where I'm going, the leadership is already starting to come out of this. Next thing that we want, tactical assessment. It's already getting there. When we make an intelligence or investigation, history, insight check, which you gotta remember, we are already proficient in history and insight. So we're already building off we already have, making ourselves better. All these maneuvers, I like where this is going. Next thing we have is now we're going to get to level 5. Level 5, what do we want to do? You may think, oh, keep going fighter, it's great. No, we are going to take one more level in bard. We're going to take his level of bard. Why? Because we get jack of all trades, which means we get to add, if we're not proficient in a skill, now we're half proficient in it. It's a sense of luckiness almost that we are so good. Song of Rest. Soothing music, beginning at second level, you can use soothing music or oration to help revitalize your allies. Once again, getting that speaking to people, that whole thing going. We also can learn an additional spell. So thinking, what spell we take? There's honestly not too many spells here that make a bunch of sense. You could say Longstrider, because that is pushing people to do greater. We'll choose Longstrider for now, but we may end up dropping that later, because when you level up, when you get higher level spells, you can swap out one as two. So that spell probably didn't work out for him. That's fine. is we're going to get to level 6. Now, you're starting to see where this comes together in a moment. Level 6, Bard gets their college. And we want, the reason why we chose Magic the Gathering, we want the College of Eloquence, the College of Speaking, the College of, here, let me just read you the description of it because that's going to do a whole lot better than I have here. The College of Eloquence master the art of oratory. Persuasion is regarded as a high art, and a well-reasoned, well-spoken argument often proves more persuasive than fact. These bards wield a blend of logic and theatrical wordplay, winning over skeptics and detractors with logical arguments and plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of audiences. That's some good writing. We're going to keep going there. What does this give us also? What are these two features? Silver tongue. When we make a persuasion or deception check, we can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10. In selling words, we can make, if an enemy wants to do a save against our command, we can use a bonus action to make it harder to resist. We're already becoming very unresistible. We also get expertise and 2 skill proficiencies. And what are we going to take? We already have persuasion. We're going to take deception, intimidation. All right. Now, I should have done this earlier, but we're going to go ahead and go into, to give you an idea of what we're already at, we're going to go into equipment. Now, you get some starting equipment from being a fighter. We want all these. Fine clothes, signet ring. Of these, we're only take some. We're going to take some. Want a martial weapon and shield. We're going to take a short sword. We're not going to take this armor, and I'm going to explain why in a second. That, yes, this is what we want. We're going to have this, but also the thing that we want, because it's more appropriate to the gear that we're at the time, we're going to take some half plate armor. All right, so we have our inventory where we're going to equip our half plate, our shield, our regular short sword for now. We'll get to that later. We might change that. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at what he looks like before we start going to the higher levels. Now this is already at, level 6. You can already see that 19 AC, he's 19 armor, he's definitely a fighter. Deception, persuasion, he cannot roll below a 10, so that means he would roll an 8, or he would get plus 8 to something he can't roll a 10. This guy automatically gets at least 18 persuasion. Automatically. To give you an idea of what that means, D&D's scale of skill checks goes like this. 5 is easy, 10 is relatively easy, 15 is the normal task, 20 is hard, 25 is difficult, 30 is nearly impossible. He already cannot get below 18. He cannot. Wow. He's already getting places there. So now we're going to go back to continue to add him. Remember, we were at level 6. Level 6. So what is our next step? Next step, you can get level 4 in fighter. And in D&D, when you get certain levels, you what's called an ability of score increase. You can make yourself better. Now I know charisma is pretty powerful, but we still want to make sure we can use a sword. So we are going to increase dexterity still. Alright. Next, level 8. We're going to take another level in fighter. I know, it's another one, because we now get extra attack. We have 2 attacks and our action surge, so we can get stuff done. We can get stuff done. Next, we get to level 6, or not level 6, level 9. Level 9, we want fighter 6 is what I meant to say. Fighter 6, we get another ability score increase. We are going to increase our dexterity again. What does this mean? This means, give a second to do it. We should have 20 dexterity. Not sure why it's saying we don't. Mistake here. Dexterity score. Now we've maxed out our dexterity. And we are only level 9. We have max dexterity, which means we have plus 9 to hit with our short sword, And we know this, our proficiency bonus has gone up. We cannot get below a 10. This man, level 9, 20 persuasion. 20 persuasion. He can't get below a 10, he has a plus 10. And he already has also, don't forget, we have the commanding presence. We can add our D8, that's the size of our superiority dice, to it. So actually he can't get below a 21 if we always add a superiority dice. Wow. So we're at level 9. Now we can get to level 10. Level 10, going back to the world of Bard. Did I improve our charisma? So level 4 Bard, what do we get? We get another ability score increment. And you know what, this time, we've maxed dexterity. It's time to put into that charisma. Put into that charisma. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also notice that when we got level 3 Bard, besides College of Eloquence, we gotta get some more spells. Skip that almost. We are going to get Enhance Ability, which means we can make our charisma advantage. We are going to get rid of the long strider that I took earlier. This is when we were level 3, and we're going to add Suggestion. We're going to suggest, suggestive course of activity and magically influence a creature. And suggest it to follow us into battle. We can do this, concentrate for 8 hours. Great spell. Great spell. We get one more. And there's a lot of spells here, but there's one particular that stands out to me. Calm emotions. Calm people. Once again, going with that true orator style. We also get another cantrip, which is a level 1 spell you can use infinitely. And we are going to take Message. Send a message to people. Fair enough. Nothing too extreme. Get my point. Next, if you notice, we are now level... What level are we? We're level 10. Level 11, we're going to take another level 1 fighter. We get Know Your Enemy, where we can observe our enemy. We're getting to the true point. Because our enemies now just aren't in the battlefield. They are everywhere. And we want to know how much of a strong enemy is this. And we get 2 more maneuvers. We're going to take Commander Strike, where we can not attack and have one of our companions strike for us. Pretty cool. And since our charisma is getting better, take Rally, where we can now, we are so inspiring. Not only do we have to use a spell to get someone extra HP, we can rally them just with our dice. We have multiple ways to bring people up, if that makes sense. Level 12. Taking another level in Fighter to make us an 8th level fighter. What does this give us? Another ability score increase. And you know what we're doing. Getting that charisma. We are getting that charisma. So let's take another look. Level 12 now. Let's take another look at what he looks like. Let's see. Plus 12 now to these. So we can't get below 22. Man. This is a strong character. It's level 12. We still got 8 levels to go. Alright. 13th level. We're going to become a fighter. Level 9. What does this give us? Dominable. We are truly unstoppable now. We can reroll a saving throw. If we mess up, we can roll again. Wow. Level 14. We're going to take another level in Fighter. I know it's a lot of levels in Fighters. Just bear with me. What do we get here? Our dice are no longer D8s. They are D10s. That's a 10-sided dice we can add. We get 2 more maneuvers also. What are we going to take? We're going a bit more darker now. Julius Caesar wasn't always the fully happy-la-di-da guy. A bit more darker. So we're going to take Precision Strike, Precision Attack, which is where we can add our dice to our attacks, make sure to get people down if they're in our way. We're also going to take Menacing Attack, where we can hit someone and make them frightened of us because We are Caesar. All right, level 15. Now we're getting to the big boy levels. Take another level in fighter. And what does this give us? Extra attack. We have 3 attacks now. 3. Yikes. Level 16, we're going to take another level in fighter. What does this give us? Another ability score improvement, because fighters get more ability score improvements than any other class. And what are we going to improve? You know what we're doing. We are maxing out charisma at 20. We now have maxed out our charisma score. We're level 16. We're going to the final levels. Let's take another look at what we got so far. At this point, because maxing charisma and our proficiency bonus has gone up, we have a plus 15 to persuasion. And we can't roll below 10. That's a 25. We can achieve the nearly impossible consistently. Consistently. Think about that for a moment. And that's what Caesar was there. And deception checks as well. We can deceive, persuade. We will walk into a room of people that we do not know, and they will come out wanting to follow us. And that's our goal. That is our goal. We get to level 17 now. Level 17. Sorry, there is a gnat in my room. Level 17, we're going to take another level in fighter. Another level. What will this give us? Level 13. What does this give us? I don't think we actually get anything. Look, there. I'm correct. Oh, we get 2 uses of our Dominable. We're even harder to stop now. Wonderful. Alright, level 18. 18. We're going to do one more in fighter. This is our last level in fighter, because we get another feat. And this feat is going to... We're building the capstone now, basically, is what we're building up to. We want Prodigy. We are a knack of learning things, the knack for this. And what language do we want? Well, let's take Giant, because we are now a giant among men, I would say. What skill proficiency are we going to take? Religion. You have to think that kind of a god a little bit, so religion makes sense. What skill do we want expertise in? Well, the final charisma skill. Performance. Performance. And what tool do we want? Now, I could argue navigator's tools here, go with the cartographers, but we're actually going to want calligraphers. So we can do some documentation a little bit, because that's kind of important. All right. Level 19 now is what's next. We are done with fighter. We are done. We are done. Now it is time to let the bard in us shine. Cap it off. We're going to take 5th level in bard. 5th level. What does this give us? Font of inspiration. We regain our abilities to inspire others when we finish a short or long rest, not just long. So we are pushing others now, it's natural for us now. It's easy for us to motivate others to do what we want. We also get some more spells, and we can swap out a spell. Now, you remember earlier how we had Healing Word. We want to keep Healing Word still. We want to keep that. Where is it? We want to keep that spell still. But our Heroism requires that we have to touch someone. That's not us anymore. We don't need to touch you to inspire you. We are just Caesar. So we're going to replace that with Mass Healing Word. And we get another spell. Another spell. What do we want? We want Fast Friends. When you need to make sure something gets done, you can't rely on vague promises, sworn oaths, or binding contracts of employment. You cast a spell, choose a humanoid, and they can understand you, and they are charmed. While creatures charmed in this way, it undertakes to perform any service or activities you ask of it in a friendly manner, to the best of its ability. That sounds like us right there. Alright. We're level 19 now. For our last level, we're going to take the final level in Bard, which will seal the deal. You may be wondering why I took Eloquence. So, we are so persuasive now. Even if a creature fails, they get to keep our inspiration. They get to feel like they will try again. We also get Universal Speech, where we've gained the ability to make our speech intelligible to anyone. Up to our charisma. We don't need to know your language. You will look at us and be able to just feel our words and understand it. We also get one more spell. One more spell. And what one would be more suiting for a leader than Motivational speech. You address allies, staff, or innocent bystanders to exhort and inspire them to greatness, whether they have anything to decide about or not. So to 5 creatures within range that can hear you. Wow. You know what? That seems like it to me. That seems like it. Let's take a look at this guy. We're still not done because we still need to do some magic items that fit him. Some magic items, and we're going to get to that. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Let's take a look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's learn to hit. 17 to deception, persuasion. Indeed, wow. But yeah, a bit more magic items to finish this off. And the first magic item that we're going to take is a short sword +3. We don't need that. We're so good at fine now. We don't use that basic short sword. Get rid of that. We use this better one. Next thing we need. When the was down and killed, took a lot of stabs. We want an amulet of health, which will increase our HP, which you're about to watch. Boom. 198. Alright. What's next? We want to make sure that our persuasion is the best. So we want actually a luck stone. We want a luck stone. Yes. Use what we want. Next thing that we want, our final magic item to kind of cap it off. The Ion Stone of Mastery. Proficiency bonus. When you use an action, you can toss a stone in the air and orbit your head. And our proficiency bonus increases by 1. This is definitely what we want. Why? Because now we have 20 to deception, 20 to intimidation, 20 performance, 20 persuasion. We have a +18 to hit. Let's look at our features quickly again. We have Bardic Inspiration, where we can inspire others to us with giving them a D8 to add to stuff. And if they fail, our unfailing inspiration, they get to keep it for the whole 10 minutes. If you fail, you still feel my inspiration. You're going to keep going. You can also, they can use it to heal others or deal damage. We add a +3 to anything we are not proficient in, which makes us good at everything. And the stuff that we're not already good at, we're unbelievably good at. A Song of Rest. When we speak to people during a rest, they get extra health. They regain extra health. Silver Tongue, Persuasion, Deception. We cannot roll below a 10. We have a +20, +30. And I told you, 30 is the near impossible. We do it with ease, baby. We do it with ease. Selling Words, our enemies. Yeah, they better watch where they're going. And we regain this on a short and long rest. Universal Speech, Fighter. Dueling, we can fight ourselves. Second Wind, we take a short, once per short rest, we can heal ourselves, keep going ourselves. Take those eventual stabs that are going to come and get us. Action Surge, already went over that. Combat Superiority, the dice to add to our maneuvers, which are Commanding Presence, Maneuvering Attack, Tactical Assessment, Commander Strike, Rally, Precision Attack, Menacing Attack. We have 3 attacks already. Our enemies, Indomitable. And yeah. What do you know? We have now made Julius Caesar in Dungeons and Dragons. And honestly, usually I think that fighters, especially human fighters, is a boring, common thing. Like, let's compare this, just to put in perspective. What is the most common thing? Human fighter. And for that reason, people have said that they think it's boring. I'll tell you right here, this is not a boring character. I would love to play this character. It looks awesome. and it's Julius Caesar.